All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with another lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's elect. Now, I found this on ynetnews.com. I was searching through X and Tucker Carlson and Mike Huckabee. I keep getting little clips. I didn't watch the whole the whole interview he did with Mike Huckabee. I guess he's the ambassador of Israel or something like that. But I guess he said in that interview that the Israelis should take like some blood test or something to prove that they're descendants of Abraham. And I figured I'd talk about it. This is what I found. I was looking for, news articles, maybe something else, and I couldn't find anything. So that's why I'm on Ynet Global, because they're the only ones talking about it. It says, I never heard of this place, so, but there's plenty of videos online showing you that he was talking about this, because he's like confused for some reason that, that the small hat is claiming to be, the chosen people, and they're using the Bible as means to go and expand their borders. So he's like flabbergasted about this, even though the scriptures say, Jacob is the borders are going to be expanded, but they're not the real people. That's what he's having trouble to understand. His whole view of the Bible is just completely skewed. He don't know what's written in this. First of all, he thinks the Lord's white. Clearly, he never read Revelation, the first chapter. That's number one. Number two, the Lord's name is not Jesus Christ. Okay, so clearly he doesn't know that the Lord was a Hebrew. And number three, you got to be a part of the elect to get this understanding. So clearly, you're not one of the elect, at least at not this moment. Because that word needs to go out. And who knows, maybe you are, just because, a lot of people think this is like a racist thing. It's not racist, man. I don't know how many times you got to teach people that there's no such thing as white and black people. That's hard for people to understand, because they learn from the devil. They've been deceived. So here it is. You take everyone's nationality. There's multiple different nationalities in the world, and you condense it into two races, and that's how people operate. So this is the type of people you're dealing with, and they all operate on that. Someone look at a Tucker Carlson and think he's smart. To me, he's a fool, because he can't even get past the social construct to actually learn some wisdom, because he's proud. People of this world, they can never humble themselves down to get the basics, the milk of the scriptures. They'll never be able to get it. So it's a waste of time trying to teach somebody like that. But we do this for the elect's sake, so you can understand. But anyways, this says Israel's chief rabbinate and anti-Semites want the same thing. Opinion: Tucker Carlson's call for genetic testing of Israelis reflects a long anti-Semitic fixation on Jewish DNA. Yet Israel's chief rabbinate has also tightened rules for proving Jewish identity, including requiring DNA tests from some immigrants. First of all, there's no such thing as Jewish. All right. You Edomites were converted by John Hyrcanus. When was that? Let's look that up. Because that's what they are, the Edomites, specifically from the tribe of Amalek. That's not what I'm looking for. When did John Hyrcanus convert the Edomites? John Hyrcanus I, a Hasmonean leader and high priest of Judea, conquered the territory of Edom, Idumea, and forced its inhabitants to convert to Judaism around 125 to 126 BC. So we taught these damn devils what they know. Okay? And it looks like they've been sticking to it. But when it came to the Lord, when the Maccabean period was here, it was not about the Lord, Yahweh Shai and all of that. So they're still practicing what they were taught. You know, these devils really don't have no. I hate these damn devils, man. They really don't have no type of. They're not original with nothing. I was just watching some video on how the Ku Klux Klan is that's an originally black. It's a Moorish thing that they stole from them, and it's a mockery that they even go around doing that. It's because they're mocking Israel. Everything they do has to do with them mocking Israel. You don't even know who you are, so by them doing that, got you afraid of going back to what was originally yours in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's amazing how the Lord is revealing all of this information in these last days. Tucker Carlson, the American commentator who enjoys popularity in far right circles. Yeah, just be a far right circle type of piece of shit, man. All right, don't mix your far right ideology with the Bible, man. You just defiling the scriptures, man. Like, don't even touch the Bible, honestly. You don't know the Lord, and you're a disgrace to the Lord. Here it is. You don't know nothing, man. You don't know nothing. Proposed in an interview with U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, that DNA tests be administered to all residents of the land of Israel to determine who among them is truly a descendant of Abraham. You think your stupid ass DNA test is going to prove if you're an Israelite or not? That DNA test shit don't mean nothing. It's very simple, Carlson said. We've cracked the human genome. We can do this, Huckabee responded. I have no idea what that would prove. It wouldn't prove shit. It wouldn't prove nothing, man. You don't even follow the laws. Where's your beard at? You're a fool. You're just a full damn fool, man. I just can't stand these people, man. It's just ridiculous. You know, the Lord that you claim to love so much, he gonna destroy your ass, and you're not even gonna know why. You don't even know what sin is. Nigga wakes up and gets ready to. He nigga putting all types of makeup on his face like a bitch, and then he go out and go talk to somebody, make sure, am my camera ready? Am I look good, everybody? How's my eyeliner today? Like a straight bitch, and you think the Lord's dealing with you. You out of your damn mind. Carlson is an anti-Semite. What's an anti-Semite, Carlson Tucker? He promotes conspiracy theories targeting Jews and has called Israel the most violent country in the world. Oh, man, that's funny. Israel's the most violent country in the world. No, Edom is, all right? You Edomites are the most violent people in the world. His proposal to subject Israelis to, where's this word Israelis from? Is that in the Bible, Carlson Tucker? To genetic testing is not surprising. Anti-Semites have always been fascinated by Jewish genetics. What the hell is a Jewish? What does that mean? Let's search that up. Jewish people are the ethno-religious group originating from ancient Israelites, numbering about 15.2 million, with major populations in Israel and the U.S. Core beliefs include monotheism and a covenant with God through identity and deeply cultural and ancestral. Key traditions include the Star of David symbol, holidays like Passover, Yom Kippur, and a strong, diverse cultural heritage. Where did it say originate from ancient Israelites? No, the fuck you don't. Fuck out of here. You originate from ancient Edomites. The desire to classify Jews by blood and race is not new and evokes dark chapters in history that need no elaboration. Yeah, no, it needs elaboration, especially if you're using the Bible as a basis. Let's see if your claims are true. First of all, let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Let's start here. All right. Deuteronomy 28, verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So this is the curses. Okay, so they should be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So forever, you're always gonna know if that if these curses are upon the nation of Israel, they should be on you forever, right? So one curse I want to know, right? It's Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Okay, let's look at this up a little bit. Let's see, yoke of iron upon thy neck. Let's start here. Let's Google it. Let's see if a bunch of small hats come up. Let's go to images. Who is this? Who is that? What do you see here? You see Kunta Kente there before you see a damn small hat. Where the small hats at? All I see is black people with going through slavery. Where are your images at when you had this yoke of iron around your neck? Why don't we start there with the Bible scriptures? Why isn't it? Why aren't they here? Why is it depicting so-called black people here? All right. Where are your people at right here? You should be right here. This should be your people be popping up on this since y'all claim to be the people. You want to get this DNA bullshit is just to circumvent what's already known as common knowledge. And then, it really, the reason why I'm doing this video, because not a Jew was, well, the far left is, they're saying we're doing a genocide, and the far right wants to get DNA testing. Both of them are wrong. And I was like, yeah, I got to do a video on this because they're full of shit. Especially if they send his nigga ears like this big on both sides of his face. Dumbo. So you don't tell me when you did Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. That's what I want to see. Okay? And there's plenty of other scriptures too. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. When did you go into Egypt again with ships? I know the so-called Negroes and Latinos went on ships again when they went into slavery. When did you do that? This is the questions you should be asking them, Tucker Carlson. Deuteronomy 28, 48, Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Clearly you think I don't know what the hell you think, but it's, every time I see you, you're just getting worse and worse. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, but now I'm thinking you're an Edomite too. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning, this is talking about the land. They shall see it no more again. They're in the land today. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. We want to know when they were sold to their enemies. When did they get sold to their enemies? What point in history? This is how you do process by elimination, right? And when you do the process of elimination, it's going to lead you to show you that it's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, for bondmen and bondwomen. When were you bondmen and bondwomen, slave men and slave women? Where? Where's the proof? Let's find out. We'll even use AI mode. Okay. When were the Jews slave? We'll put Jewish Israelis. Jewish Israelis slaves. Is that? I don't know if I can get any more specific. Hold on, it needs to think. Enslavement in ancient Egypt. Okay. Babylonian captivity. All right. The Roman enslavement. Oh, so the small hat was okay. So, it's bullshit. All bullshit. Jeremiah 17, verse 4. So since you got DNA, that means you breaking this scripture right here, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So when will you discontinue from your heritage that the Lord gave you? You using 23andMe or whatever, some type of DNA that violates the fact that you discontinue from your heritage. But I know a nation of people that was discontinued from their heritage, and they calling themselves everything that their oppressors told them. When did that happen to you? It seems like you always knew you were a Jew, even when you were going through your thing. You know, your situation, we'll call it. So you don't fit Jeremiah 17:4. You don't fit Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. You don't fit Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. And we didn't even get into the rest of the Bible. You know, you're supposed to be delivered from Babylon. Where's Babylon at? And don't say, oh, that's ancient Babylon, you know, blah, blah, blah. We came after, you know, the Persians and all of that. No, where's the northern kingdom at? So what are you talking about? And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Where's the proof? Show me where you were slaves and stuff. How come I can look up images of my people going through everything that the Bible says, but when it comes to your people, it's obscurity. Let's read the next verse. Jeremiah 17:5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and make his flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. Yeah, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Don't believe these niggas, or you're going to be cursed. They don't know a damn thing. You don't know nothing. You got the prophets on the highways and hedges. Listen to them. You don't want to listen to them. Guess what? You're condemned. You're not supposed to know. This is too far. You just get paid. Do your podcast, go talk to Putin again. He said he was going to, actually, matter of fact, what did Putin say today? He said he was going to bomb Europeans to smithereens. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Did Putin threaten Europe today? As of February 24, 2026, marking the 4th anniversary of a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Putin's regime is viewed by NATO and EU officials as a persistent long-term security threat to Europe. While no specific new explicit threat was detailed in today's headlines, officials emphasized Russia's ongoing aggression and potential for future direct conflict with NATO. Parliament stands firm with Ukraine's 4 years into Russia, preparing for the day after in Europe. Russia poses nuclear threat to Europe, not America. It says 9 hours ago. Anyways, this is a little going off topic, but I just thought, I forgot there's no, anyways. So what I'm trying to say here is there's no paperwork that's going to prove you're an Israelite. There's no DNA test you can take. Esau made all that shit up. It's fake. He's a pseudo-scientist. He's a devil. He's a deceiver. He's fake. Don't believe nothing he says. Not a damn thing. None of his numbers, none of his stupid ass charts, none of it is foolishness. Okay? Don't trust that devil. He's a serpent. He's the devil. He's going into slavery. That's all you need to know, Tucker Carlson. He's an Edomite. And you know what? You probably are too. I don't know 100% yet. Because you could sincerely just don't know. Maybe you need to see fire come out of men's eyes and burn somebody to powder. I don't know. Maybe if you were a little more afflicted, you know what? Sell everything you have, right? And come meet me on the highways and hedges and see if the Lord's dealing with you or not. Let's start there. Let's start. Well, what did the Lord say? when the Lord told the rich man to sell everything he has and follow him? Matthew 19 and 21 is saying, let's go there. Maybe this is what you need to do. Matthew 19, and we'll start at 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is the Most High God, Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. So you don't keep the commandments, all right? Tucker Carlson, I can see that you don't have a beard on your face, all right? Now, men of the Lord, that's something simple. We're practicing the righteous acts during this time. This is something simple we could do. Edomites like to shave their beard because they're wicked, okay? They transgress every law, all right? Let's grab that precept as a matter of fact. You shall not round the corners of your beard, KJV. KJV. I thought it was Leviticus 19, yep. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corner of thy beard. That's what you be doing. You be marring the corner of your beard. Do not cut the hair at the sides of your head or clip off the edges of your beard. Now, no. Let's look at I gotta go into the blue letter. Leviticus 19 and 27. Shall not mar, meaning to destroy or corrupt, destroy. The corners of your beard. Let's look at, okay, so mar means to destroy. Corners. The side. Okay. As a matter of fact. Does Leviticus 19 verse 27 state that Israelites are not supposed to shave their beard? Yes, Leviticus 19 and 27 states that Israelite men are not to mar or destroy the corners or edges of their beards, which is generally interpreted as a prohibition against shaving the beard smooth with the razor, right? And you got a smooth face. Now, you could cut it down, you know, you can make it look nice, but shaving it down, that you're breaking Leviticus 19 and 27 if you think, okay, well, that's for the priests. Well, the nation of Israel are a nation of kings and priests, so this don't pertain unto you. All right? So that contradicts what it says over here. Cutting for the dead. No, the sides of your head or clip off the edges of your beard. See, well, that's in a different translation. It's going into the NIV, but that's just one thing. You probably eat pork too, and justify it with Acts the 10th chapter. You know, it's like you people are just devils. You'll never the way your mind works is just defiled. So you'll defile everything that is pure. No, that doesn't mean that. That means this. Yeah, that means, you know, we can do all of these things. This is the book of Titus, chapter 1, and verse 15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. So that's probably where you're at. Matthew 19 and 27. So you can't keep the commandments. This is not pure to you. Oh, no. You might say those done away with. There's only two laws. We're supposed to love our neighbor, and we're supposed to love the Lord. And then we can break every other law. That's how. That's the majority of modern day Christianity. That's what they teach, and they justify wickedness. You can look at. I watch it all the time. I'm on X all the time. All you do is justify wickedness. You ignore everything that's wicked. You ignore it. You glorify it. As a matter of fact, just with your social media posts. Just everything you post shows you that you're a devil. No concern about what's going on with people's children. No concern about the millions of kids missing every year. No concern, not doing anything the Bible says as it pertains to working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Matthew 19:18. He saith unto him, which Yahushua said, thou shalt do no murder. Who murders the most? Esau. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Esau glorifies adultery. Look at the music industry. Who runs the music industry? Thou shalt not steal. He just stole probably another damn tanker. You know, how many tankers were stolen? How many lands were stolen? How many presidents were stolen? Who keeps stealing and stealing and stealing? When he came here, what did he do? He stole. Every covenant, he broke it. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Who does all these things? Esau. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man saith unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Yahushua said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. So won't you try that? Won't you go sell what you have and follow him? Because that's what's going to put you in that low position where you got to rely on the Lord more than just going into the bank and grabbing up, you ain't got to worry about your bills anymore. You sitting up high, you ain't got to deal with these things. If you sold all that, then the Lord would start chastening you. Then you'll get that chastisement like a son, and then you would see everything that's written. You will feel it now. Oh, I can see now. Oh, and then you're going to be hastening the day. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. And that's pretty much what probably I see your biggest problem is you have great possessions. So you'll never come into the knowledge of this truth because you're really an enemy of the Lord. Like it tells you in the book of James. We all were enemies of the Lord, but it looks like you're going to continue to be. Things to avoid. We'll start at the top. James 4:1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence? Even of your lusts that war in your members. That's right. Even of the lusts that war in your members. You want to be part of the world. That's your lust. Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight in war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Yeah, you don't ask the Lord for these things. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. Ye ask amiss. Your prayers are not aligned with the will of the Lord. That's why you don't get what you want. If you were asking for strength so you could serve the Lord, he'd be more prone to give you that strength. If you were asking, to power to glorify him, he'd give you the power. Okay? Especially if you're doing what he wants you to do. James chapter 4, verse 4, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. So you're a friend of the world. Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? You think the scriptures say this in vain, that the spirit dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? Let's look at this word, envy. The spirit in you lusteth to envy, prompted by envy, jealousy, ill will. The point is that you make yourself an enemy with God, but I'm going to keep reading. James 4 verse 6, but he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. So you're proud. Okay, and it tells you pride is the beginning of, let me grab it. Pride is the beginning. I can't even think of it. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 12, the beginning of pride is when one departed from God and his heart is turned away from his maker. That's what's going on with you. Your heart is turned away from your maker. Because you don't really need the Lord. He done gave you so much money, gave you a house, gave you all this fame and fortune. You put all that before the Lord. That's why it's easy to go worship a so-called white man, Jesus Christ, because he loves you like that. Oh, I love you. And you're praying to yourself, oh, yeah, thank you. All right, so I can keep all my wealth and not do anything to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Yes, my son, you could do whatever you want, and everything's going to be okay. Then you're like, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I knew I was a good boy. And that's not the case. You're going to be destroyed. Because you ain't part of the elect. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 13, for pride is the beginning of sin. What is sin? The transgression of the law. Who was the law given to? The nation of Israel on Mount Sinai. Did he say the Jewish people? No. Okay. It's funny because when you say Jewish, you're basically saying Judish, right? Because Jews just like Judah, or you saying Judah-ish. You like somebody from, but you're nothing like the tribe of Judah. Tribe of Judah is a great people. The Lord came out of that tribe. You don't represent nothing that resembles the best person that came out of that tribe. You represent the opposite of that, which is the devil. And he that have it shall pour out abomination. Yeah, you got pride, you're going to pour out abomination, and therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities and overthrew the mightily. Because that's what pride is. Pride is the beginning of sin, and he that departed from his maker. You read about Genesis. Genesis tells you how Esau is he's a fugitive and a vagabond, and from his face shall he be hid. He won't be able to come into the knowledge of this truth. Why? Because it condemns him. It condemns you, man. An Edomite Christian is just as foolish as, that's foolishness. Yeah, I'm going to pray to the God that's going to come and destroy me. Why would you do that? That's dumb. That's why it don't make any sense to go trust in the person who's going to be destroyed by the Lord and then use his science to justify him being somebody he's not. All right? The real men of the Lord, they're going to be suffering. They're going to be putting their life on the line for this truth. Ain't no putting your life on the line. When you can control the social media and what people say, you can ban it. That's showing you that's the opposite. No, you're supposed to be afflicted. You're supposed to be chastised. You're supposed to be oppressed. You're supposed to be... all of these things that have to deal with suffering. I don't see them niggas suffering. I see them living good. And this is their time to live good, like it tells you in Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall be passed unto thee. You going to drink this cup too. So when our tears are turning into joy, your joy is turning into tears. It's equal and opposite. James 4:7, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil and he will flee from you. So you got to resist the devil. How do you resist the devil? You do the work of the Lord. You obey the Lord. All right? You seek the Lord. That's how you resist the devil. You be fully occupied in his truth. That's how you resist the devil. The more you're occupied in this, the less the devil gonna fuck with you. It says he will flee from you. He don't want to fuck with you. He like to start off with the hindermost of the nation. So those of you who don't like to work like that, watch out for people like that. They're gonna be tempted. They're going to be, they're going to get. Esau's coming for them first. The hindermost of the nation, the weaker ones, the weaker vessels. Of course, the women, but there's some weak men out there too. Them too. Draw nigh to God, James 4:8, and he will draw nigh to you. So you got to draw nigh to him and he'll draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. So how do you do that? How do you cleanse your hands? How do you purify your hearts? Psalms 119. How will a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed to thy word. Let's grab it. Psalms 119 and verse number 9. Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word. So that's how you cleanse your way. You got to take heed unto thy word. Ephesians 4. Ephesians 4. And where's that other precept? Ephesians 4. And I forgot where the precept is, somewhere in here. I can't think of the precept. Can't think of it. Let's see if it's in here. Taking heed to our word, cross references. Does it give me Ephesians, the 4th chapter? Nope. I can't think of the precept off the top of my head to quote it, but this is a good one. John 15:3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. So that's another precept. Through that word that I have spoken unto you. You know, so this word cleanses us, is the point. James 4:9. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. So it's the opposite. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. So the Lord is lifting us up. The nation of Israel is in a low place, like America, at the bottom of the totem pole. Who's at the top over here? And then when you look at the top, you're going to think of the so-called white man. Then who's above him? The small hat man. Who's running him like a little fucking dog that he is. James 4:9, be afflicted and mourn. I read that. James 4:11, speak not evil one of another, brethren. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. And we're not in the position of judging. We're in the part of grace Okay, we're in the position of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability and practicing the righteous acts like Judges 5 and 11. You don't do any of these things. So, this is like blah, 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 blah to you. James 4 and 12, but this is our life. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgest another? Yeah, so there is one lawgiver. Who's that talking about? That's talking about our Lord Yahweh Shai. That is able to what? Save and to destroy. And that's what he's coming to do, to save and to destroy. He said he's going to make war. Let me grab this. Revelation 19. That other precept's bugging me now. This is Ephesians. Revelation 19 in verse number. What do you say? Well, I'll judge and make war. Where is that precept? I thought it was Revelation 19. Maybe I'm bugging. Type it in when he says, "I'll judge and make war in righteousness." Yeah, Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. And that's talking about our Lord. He's coming to judge and make war. Okay? When you're judging something, you're judging something according to the law. And who's he going to judge? The sinners. Those who are found without the blood of the Lamb. Because we're all sinners at the end of the day, but his elect are going to be covered with the blood. That's why a lot of you're not covered with the blood. And a clear sign of you being covered with the blood is you having wisdom and knowledge and understanding. It's like a token. I forgot where that precept's at, but that's what it's about. James chapter 4, verse 13. Go to now ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there a year, and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor, that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your boastings, all such rejoicing is evil. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So you better say Lord's will before you do what you think you're going to do. All right? Because that's pride. That's not you acknowledging the Lord, giving you the breath, the power, the strength to do what you're doing every single day. That belongs to him. He chooses. Overnight, he can be like, you know what? No more strength. Now you got stage 3 cancer. You got to go. Yeah, get your house in order. This is what I mean. You give him his due praise while you got the power. That's the whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes. And guess what? He about to turn it up on that cancer shit. You gonna find out 20-year-olds getting that shit, man. Eating the same shit you eat every single day. They gonna die from that shit. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It's very simple. As a matter of fact, let me go to John, the 6th chapter. I forgot about this precept. John 6 verse 63. Because there really ain't no paperwork that you can get to prove to you that you're Israel. All right. This is all faith. People just these devils just extract faith from the whole equation. No, look at this. I got data. Look at, we extracted some blood that was on a rock at Galilee. That's what shows we have 15% traits of this, that. Don't listen to these niggas. All right, it's the spirit that they're in. That's how we know who was who. It's all through the spirit. Israel's a spiritual people. Esau's a carnal people. John 6, verse 63, it is the spirit that quickeneth, meaning to make alive. The flesh profiteth nothing, like those DNA tests you're talking about. That's flesh. That's carnal. That's what carnal means. It's flesh. It profits you nothing, man, to get that information. If the spirit doesn't reveal to you that you're talking to an Edomite, there's no paperwork this devil can put in front of my face that'll make me deny that he's the devil. Because the spirit already revealed it to me. No, I'm not the devil. Look at this paperwork. It says I'm 73% from this area over here. Look at it says Jerusalem specifically. I would never believe that shit. That's trash what he got going on there. Because your works will show you that, first of all, you believe in the Lord. Number one, they don't even believe in the Lord. And they're going to show you paperwork showing you that they're related to him. You're out of your fucking mind. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So you don't believe the words. What words is he talking about? Read Deuteronomy 28. Listen to the prophets. Deuteronomy 10, verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee? Okay, let's say they are Israelites, right? Let's say the paperwork is right, the spirit's right, all of that, right? But to fear the Lord thy God. How do you fear the Lord? You keep his commandments. Now let's see how well they're doing that. They're building a third temple. Did the Lord tell them to build a third temple? Did the Lord get rid of animal sacrifice? Don't you got to have faith in the Son of God? So they don't have any fear of the Lord thy God. And when you don't have any fear, look what you can do. You can do all types of abominations. To walk in all his ways, not eating human meat and drinking blood. That's far from the Lord. That's profanity. Dealing with little kids, boys and girls, that's profane. That's disgusting. That's not what the Lord deals with. The Lord's going to put that to death because that's where it needs to be gone, eradicated from off the earth. And to love him, if you love me, keep my commandments. They don't keep his commandments. And to serve the Lord, not serve the name. Thy God with all thy heart, which is your mind, and with all thy soul, which is your mind too. To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. So they don't do that. They don't do that, man. What do they push? Adultery. Oh no, the nation of Israel. Why do they give loans with usury? They breaking the law. Why is Israel still in slavery? Because they have to keep transgressing the law. You ain't supposed to have a Hebrew saved longer than, 7 years, 6 years? The 7th year you let them go? We're still here. It's been 400 plus. That's profanity. All right, so even if they were Israel, they don't keep the laws. What other approach can I go? That's it, John 6 and 63, Deuteronomy 10, 12. And I don't know which other way to go. That's all I got with that. So you have any more? I'm not going to read all of this. You want to get DNA tests, good luck with that. I'm moving on. It says soldiers keep up clash with cartel gunmen a day after Mexico's military killed top drug lord. Let's see, just read a little bit of what's going on in Mexico, because I do believe. Oh, this is yesterday. A day after Mexican army killed country's most powerful drug lord, the picturesque town where it happened was a study in contrast. Children whose classes had been suspended by the outbreak of violence played in cobblestone streets and tourist shops were open on Talpapa's main plaza Monday, but gunshots also rang out. And just outside the town, a dead man lay on the road next to a Jeep sprayed with bullets. So you know what's kicking off in Mexico. Fast-growing cartel. Just look at all these shots. Oh, 2 dead men. Dudes laid out. Damn, that look like some thick glass, too. Yesterday, man, it says Asagarra Cervantes was the boss of one of the fastest-growing criminal networks in Mexico, known for trafficking fatty methamphetamine and cocaine to the United States and staging brazen attacks against Mexican government officials. The organization responded to his death with widespread violence, including erecting more than 250 roadblocks across 20 states and setting fire to vehicles. Who's this dude? The White House confirmed that the U.S. provided intelligence support to the operation to capture the cartel leader and applauded Mexico's army for taking down a man who was one of the most wanted criminals in both countries. Who's this dude? Mexican Security and Citizen Protection Minister Omar Garcia Harfuch speaks as President Claudia Sheinbaum looks on during her daily morning news conference at the National Palace in Mexico City Monday, February 23rd, the day after Mexican army killed Jalisco New Generation cartel leader Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho. Violent surges in Jalisco all over the place. Many fear what comes next. In Guadalajara, the state capital, some ventured out into the streets to work and buy supplies, a notable change from Sunday, when Mexico's second largest city was almost completely shut down as fearful residents stayed home. And that's another thing, you know, it's good to follow this because they were telling people to stay home. And then I was hearing that they were even going to people's homes and putting them to death. So I don't know what you're supposed to do in these situations. I'm just hoping the Lord give me the spirit that no matter what happens, man, I don't get the spirit of fear. Because that's the last thing you want. You know, you'd be surprised what one man can do when it comes to a bunch of people when he ain't got no fear on him. Many fear what comes next. This is more than 1,000 people were struck overnight in Guadalajara's zoo, where they slept in buses. Families were left stranded, unable to return home to nearby states like wherever, said Louis Huddle, the zoo's director. This is El Mancho right here. Who's this? Irma Hernandez, a 43-year-old hotel security guard, normally takes public transportation to her job, but buses were not running and she had no way to cross the city. Her bosses organized a private car to pick her up. Her family, she said, was staying at home, too scared to leave. And you know what? They fighting in this time. Shows you what kind of warfare looks like in these last days, man. Burning cars, I'm surprised. I thought it was just gonna go straight to drones and shit. Honestly, it looks like just regular street fights, gunfights. Who got the bigger gun? Duck has pressed Mexico to fight fentanyl. At a blockade Monday on the outskirts of Talapa, 25-year-old Joel Ramirez and two friends were waiting for soldiers to clear a blockade of tree limbs. He hauls things in his pickup for a living and had not been able to get home since Sunday's violence. Everything seems calmer, but we were almost there and got stuck. He said, "We're scared." Yeah. That's pretty much it on that. What else I got? Hegseth warns Anthropic, which is a company that works with AI, to let the military use the company's AI tech as it sees fit, AP sources said. Yeah, let me use your tech as we see fit. That don't even sound right. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave Anthropic CEO a Friday deadline to open the company's artificial intelligence technology for unrestricted military use. Yeah, let me use your artificial intelligence technology for unrestricted military use, or risk losing its government contract, according to a person familiar with their meeting Tuesday. They want unrestricted military use of AI. Sounds like a madman to me. Anthropic makes the chatbot Claude and is the last of its peers to not supply its technology to a new U.S. military internal network. CEO Dario Amodei repeatedly has made clear his ethical concerns about unchecked government use of AI. Yeah, I don't want any checks. Autonomous armed drones and AI-assisted mass surveillance that could track dissent. What the hell is dissent? Dissent is the expression of disagreement with or opposition to prevailing policies. Ooh, beliefs or majority opinions. Ooh, it says beliefs. Disagreement with beliefs or majority opinions ranging from legal dissent and court rulings to political protests rooted in the Latin dissentire to feel differently. It plays a critical role in democracy by preserving minority viewpoints, fostering debate, and challenging authority. So that's why he wants AI to be used. Yeah, this nigga's the devil, man. AI-assisted mass surveillance that could track dissent, those who are disagreeing with their beliefs. Ain't like they already have that, and you know what? That matches up with Ecclesiasticus, no, 2nd Esdras 16. Where it says, 2nd Esdras 16, verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So you fear the Lord, you disagree with their beliefs. You disagree with pedophiles, you're gonna be attacked. You know, because these people, they're cool with it. You know, this system is cool with all types of abominations. They hate the Lord. All right, so you better be. I mean, I can't speak for everyone else. I'm more concerned about my mindset. Hope the Lord keep that spirit on me, because you know, the other side of not standing up for the Lord is standing up for wickedness, and I don't want to stand up for that shit. He about to use AI, and AI is probably gonna be able. That's that madman sparing none, because AI ain't got no conscience. You know, if they feel like the system's gonna just automatically put you to death. Now, the majority of these people, they're gonna change their tune up real quick. But by that time, the famine of the word is gonna kick in, and ain't nobody gonna be talking about nothing. Be using the internet. You're gonna be focusing on getting to the kingdom in that time. Defense officials warned they could designate Anthropic a supply chain risk or use the Defense Production Act to essentially give the military more authority to use its products, even if it doesn't approve of how they are used, according to the person familiar with the meeting and a senior Pentagon official who both were not authorized to comment publicly and spoke on condition of anonymity. And I think it wants to give AI more power to make these decisions because they got to catch up with the rest of these countries when it comes to AI. Esau is trying to catch up with like China supposedly when it comes to AI and these other foreign countries and their military by cutting corners, by all these safety protocols to make sure it works under ethical guidelines and things like that. He wants to bypass all of that in order for time's sake, because he got a short time. He don't have time to really go through all this testing to perfect the sword. He needs to get it up to speed tomorrow. All right? He needs to get it up and running now so he can have a chance to fight. But he understands that the Lord's coming. So all this shit is vanity. That's why he don't give a fuck about compromising codes. And if he gets exposed over here, okay, you tapped into this system, you got dirt on me, who gives a fuck about all of that shit, man? The Lord's coming, which is much greater than China ruling next. Okay, the Lord is letting them know, nigga, I'm coming. All right. So while he got you focused on China and Japan and Iran and all that stupid shit, Ukraine and Russia and all that crap, the Lord's on his way. And all this AI capable bullshit ain't gonna do nothing to him. He gonna destroy this nigga with a speedy riddance, like it tells you in Zephaniah. I'm not gonna read all this. Driver plows into crowd outside Redlands bar after fight. Gunfire erupts after crash. This dude drove through a crowd of people in LA, then started shooting and I think he put I don't know how many people he put to death. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. Gunfire erupted early Sunday after a person involved in a fight got into a car and plowed into a crowd of people standing on the street outside of Redlands bar, authorities said. Imagine that, you get into a fight. The dude leaves because he knows in his head, all right, I can't win. So he gets into his car, then plows through a whole crowd. And then I think he killed the dude. Crazy, man. Crazy. That's why some of these dudes, man, you get into a fight with somebody, you don't just stand there and he was still there, This ain't a time to be partying and going out to the bar all the damn time and drinking out, in public and shit, man. You asking for it at this point. You need to read Ephesians, the 5th chapter, man. The days of evil, man. These are a lot of spirits that are out here. People are on all types of drugs, and they think, they'll get locked up, and when they sober up, they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know I did that. They got all type of influences on them, man. It's wicked out here, man. Witnesses reported the altercation between several people in front of the underground bar on Citrus Ave, just east of Orange Street, shortly after 1:30 a.m., the Redlands Police Department said in a news release. After the fight, one of the participants drove away in a Tesla headed west on Citrus Ave. Authorities said minutes later, the vehicle sped back east on Citrus, hitting 4 people who were standing in the roadway. Like, why the fuck you standing in the roadway? I always see y'all. I saw somebody else in LA got hit with a car skateboarding in the middle of a roadway at night. Police officers came flying through. It's like Grand Theft Auto out there, man. The impact caused the driver to lose control of the vehicle and collide with the curb. The police statement said at the same time, an unknown suspect fired several shots, striking the window of one business and the door of another. The violent collision was captured on video by at least one bystander, whose footage also recorded the sound of gunfire after the crash. No one was reported injured in the shooting. 4 victims of the hit-and-run crash were transported to a hospital with major injuries, authorities said. Oh, I thought somebody died, because when you watch the video, the dude literally says, "Homie's dead." That's what he said, something like that. Carl Baker with the Redlands Police Department said 2 victims have been released from the hospital. The driver in the Tesla fled west on Citrus, leaving a trail of leaked fluids, investigators said. Certainly there were a lot of witnesses out there, Baker said. When asked if witnesses are cooperating in the investigation, there was a large group out there. Detectives are following up with interviews of anybody they can identify. Baker added that investigators are following up on leads. Whatever. Same shit, man. Just, you gotta be careful out here, man. Stay sharp. This ain't time to be fooling around. Definitely ain't the time for that. Let me see if I can find this. I don't know where that damn precept is. I can't find it. I know it was in Ephesians. You know, let's go to Ephesians 5, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So this is some evil times that we in. All right, and if you ain't operating under the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, the Spirit should be guiding you in the things that you're doing. If you're a bunch of reprobate demons out there and you get shot, man, you really ain't got no one to blame but yourself. This is the time to kind of just be occupied in the Lord. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going out, but at least have some control about, you know, you got to consider your surroundings. If you're going to be around a bunch of demons, try to reduce it a little bit as much as you can. You know, being drunk with these people in LA, and then a situation like this can pop off. That can happen pretty much everywhere if you ain't circumspect. But I'm ending here. Lord's will, this was edifying. Shalom.